Right, I'm here with Effie Sue Kemerley. Thank you very much for doing this interview, Effie Sue. How long have you been a member of the Literary Club?
Since 1983. What's that make it?
So that's
32 years.
32 years. And what would you say, Effie Sue, are the most significant changes that you've acknowledged or recognized in those past years?
Ooh, well, we don't meet at the Women's Club. We used to meet downtown at the Women's Club.
Okay.
But they closed, and then when they opened up again, it was going to cost a lot. So we've met at the Engineers Club, and now we're at the Dayton Country Club. We like this.
And how often do you guys meet?
We meet every other week from October through to May.
Okay. And I heard that there was a time when the ladies had to memorize their...
Oh, yes. Yeah. When the club first started, they had more than 2 papers, 2 presentations. They had sometimes 4, and everything was memorized. Just like Emerson would talk for 2 hours at a lecture series, and everybody in town would come. Well, they were mimicking that. So they gave this as a way to learn from the members, but the research was all memorized and off the cuff if you will lecture. But a friend of mine, Annette Stockstill, who was the one that brought me into the club, said, when she brought me in, she said, you know, now that we don't memorize, now that we read our papers, you know, they're a lot better. Because it's kind of nerve-wracking if you forget something. You know,
that pressure is off. That would be kind of a challenge to memorize the whole presentation. Over the years, what would you say have been some of the greatest challenges that, other challenges that you've faced with the Literary Club?
Well, declining membership.
Okay.
Originally, this was the only way that women whose husbands were leaders in business, industry, politics, had of improving themselves because they didn't go to college back in the 19th century. And I'm doing the paper on the history of the club, so I'll tell you this.
Okay.
Their daughters were part of a female academy that was run by Mr. Roberts, who is the same Roberts of Roberts Rules of Order.
Oh, wow.
And he came to Dayton, and he directed this academy. And the mothers liked it so much, he gave them a class. And they loved that so much, they wanted to continue. And he said, why don't you form a club? And literary clubs at that time were becoming popular. It's kind of like scrapbooking, or book clubs now have a resurgence. A lot of people are in book clubs. So they started that. And it was for them so they could learn what their husbands already knew. They knew nothing about science. One of their first papers was on the X-ray. What is the X-ray? They just didn't know anything. But over the years, as their daughters came in the next generation, a lot of them had gone to college. So then it narrowed its focus from any study to literature and social issues, and then finally just literature. And they became literary rather than, you know.
And can you remember what your most interesting paper that you presented?
Oh gosh, there have been so many. You remember maybe the hardest ones, and then the ones that were the most fun. One of my hardest ones was doing Sophie's Choice.
Wow.
Because the whole paper was on that book, and it's a pretty sad book. And it was depressing. But even if it's a topic you don't like, you go ahead and do it, and it's amazing what you learn.
When was that book written?
It was written probably in the 70s. I did the paper in the late 80s or early 90s.
And when did the movie come out?
About the same time.
Okay. So you did it before the movie came out?
I don't remember, but yeah.
Okay.
No, I did it after because I remember I'd seen the movie. And one of my most fun papers was one I did just a couple years ago, and that was, we did humor for the whole year. And most of us written, but I got British television.
Oh, nice.
So I got to make video clips from YouTube and present what British humor was like.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, Effie Sue, thank you so much. I appreciate your comments this evening.
Okay.
Okay.